What's up everybody, Gentleman94 here. Welcome back to Ben Builds. This is build day number 7 for our KV-1 model 1939. We're really coming along here. Let me go ahead and give you a quick recap. This is the model kit as it stands now, minus the fenders of course. We have overshot the entire model with a pre-shade color of NATO black and a top coat of JA green, also by Tamiya. Today we're going to finish up the last of the assemblies. We're going to put on the road wheels and we're going to build the tracks. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, quick word about Trumpeter's tracks. They come in a little different design. These are what I refer to as a hybrid link-by-link system because you have both individual links and solid runs of track pre-molded. They come, of course, on a typical gray sprue, nothing fancy, and you can see right here on the top, pre-molded track sag, which is really cool, and the bottom is a straight run. You have these little pre-molded sections for the front turns and the back curvatures there. And you had individual links for around the drive sprocket and around the front wheel. That's going to be the hardest part, I have a feeling. And these are really easy to assemble. All you need is a set of sprue cutters. So we're going to use these sprue cutters here, and we're going to just start clipping away. And as I'm removing these from the sprue, I want to talk a little bit about your options in terms of tracks. Back in the old days, it used to be one type of track, what we refer to as a rubber band style track, which is just a solid piece of rubber that's stretchy, and you attach it by stretching it around the road wheels and gluing it, either with glue or melting the pins, so it all kind of melts together. The problem with those, you don't have much detail, like track sag, or the detail of the link-by-links on the inside. Trumpeter did a pretty good job of those rubber band style tracks, but I wanted to try and go ahead and use these because I think these are a little more detailed and I enjoy kind of the whole process that these give you. There's also something called link-by-link tracks, which would be all pieces of track you would assemble bit by bit. You can have workable and non-workable. So you can get those in aftermarket kits like Model Caskin or Furry models. They come in metal and also plastic. So in order to put these tracks together, we're going to be using liquid cement. Testors gives you a good option. I'm out of it right now, so I'm not going to use it, but it gives you a nice slow drying process. I'm going to go with the extra thin. You can also use plastic welder, though I wouldn't, because that's going to be really hot and it's going to solidify those pieces much faster. And we want them to be tacky and we want them to be flexible. Alright, so we're going to take the bottom run of track. This is of course the pre-molded section. And we're going to need one of the smaller pre-molded sections, and we're going to need some individual links. So let's go ahead and get started. We need 2 individual links. There's 1 and 2, and we're going to need the upturn section right there, pre-molded. Now we're going to do the same thing for the back as well. We'll do that off camera. It's kind of a tedious process. Anything like this, especially the link-by-link tracks, like Model Caskin, they require each track link to be assembled together and then locator pins to be shoved in the side, basically like track pins that you would have on a real tank. In this case though, there are just simple locating pins. There are 3, 2 male, 1 female, and they alternate so that you would fit each piece together and it only goes one direction, which is really cool because if they didn't, you might flip a track link and then you'd have a track link that's facing the wrong direction. So everything goes in one way. Once you hook them there together, take a little bit of Tamiya extra thin cement, just dab it on each of the links, each of the locating pins, let that capillary effect take hold. Now these have to be loose though too, because you're going to have to move them around the different parts of the tank. So don't worry about them not drying all the way. Now we're going to put the center section on as well here. This is pre-molded. We have 2 pieces that are not all the way solidified, so they're going to move a little bit. And it's a good idea to put it against a flat surface, press down and in. That'll get you hooked together. Nice looking track too, pretty detailed. There's the 2 male ends, the 1 female locating pin, and then those are going to fit right together with the next piece. So again, a little bit of Tamiya extra thin cement, that capillary effect that I love to talk about. That's just going to be 1 drop there on the side, 1 drop in the middle, 1 drop on the other side. Perfect. Now we're going to have to go ahead and build the link-by-link section for the front here around the drive sprocket. And according to the instructions, we need 8 pieces. So we're going to go ahead and start just by placing 2 pieces together and building the track run and then attach it to the bottom section. I suppose if you wanted to, you could also take the section you just built for the bottom run and you could just keep adding 8 pieces onto that. But I find that to be a little troublesome because I start to then affect the pieces that I already put on for the bottom track run. And I don't really want to do that. So we're going to build the section separate, and then after we're done, we're going to attach it to the one we've already built. Do the exact same thing with the back as well. Again, a few drops of Tamiya extra thin cement will go ahead and get that to be solidified eventually, but for the meantime, still flexible. So here it is. Here is the front section, and here is the bottom section. Now we're going to go ahead and mate these two together. It's the same process here. That's what I love about model building. Once you get the process down, you're good to go. A little bit of cleanup though on the one track link right there. It's a little bit of a burr. Now that that's off, this should actually fit together pretty well. Again, you want to just make sure that those pieces line up. Sometimes it helps to go down and in. Alright, so everything is good there. Let's put a little bit of glue on each of the track pins. Again, push it together, get that glue to spread around inside, and we are good. Alright, here we go. As you can see, they're still flexible, which is excellent. That's what we want, because now we have to mold them to the front of the tank. So we've given it a little bit of time to dry, not too much. We still want them flexible, but just enough to go ahead and get them a little more tacky. So now we're going to have to go ahead and start fitting them around the front wheel. Slowly conform this track. Don't rush this process at all, because you want to make sure that everything is set up as it needs to be. Otherwise, the rest of the track will be completely off. So you can see, it looks pretty good. I like how it looks. I've always liked the KV tracks. They look mean. Now the top section has pre-molded track sags, so they have rises and valleys in the track itself. So you're going to want to make sure that those line up correctly. The front part is a little longer than the back part, but that's okay. Before you go ahead and glue that, though, you're going to want to make sure that these tracks are running in the correct direction. Some tracks are directional. You can look at the track pattern, the teeth on the tracks, and you can match them up to real-life photos, and that'll give you a good idea about which way the track would rotate in real life. As long as the model kit does a good job of reproducing those, you can go ahead and follow that and get those linked the right direction. So, these look okay. We'll go ahead and we'll get started. Alright, so a little work off camera here. We have attached the front section, the bottom section, the top pre-molded track sag section, and the rear drive section. But there's something a little off here. I don't know, maybe I miscounted, or maybe I just didn't do something just right. The tracks aren't fitting as well as they should. Now I know the Russian tanks were notoriously poor fitting in their track area, but I don't want that to be this case, so I want them to fit well enough. So if it fits well in the back, it pushes out in the front. If it fits well in the front, it pushes out in the back. So we're going to go ahead and pull out one track link and adjust the size of the track. So I've just undone the front here. We're just going to go ahead and measure it, make sure that we have the proper curvature around the front idler wheel, and we're going to pull off one track link right off the top there. Now we can reattach this and it should work just fine. Sometimes it's a bit finicky to reattach when it's on the model, but do your best. Try to get that as tight as you can. And there we have it. We have a completed side of the KV-1 Model 1939 track. Looking pretty good. I gotta say, we're getting real close to the end here, guys. It's going to be a great model to have to put in my display case. So we're just a little fine-tuning here and there. Off camera, we'll build the next other set of tracks, so you don't have to watch this. It's kind of tedious, like I said. So I'll be right back. Alright, the other side has been assembled. We are looking like a tank. Now, I've mixed up a little bit of a mixture here of NATO black, which is Tamiya, and we're going to coat the areas that we have not yet painted, or that maybe the paint hasn't all the way covered. We're going to overcoat that with a very light mixture of Tamiya NATO black. And the reason we're using NATO black is because these are areas that I want it to be somewhat in shadow. So we're just going to go ahead and give a nice light misting coat over these rear air vents. We're also going to hit the different tracks at different angles. Because remember, when you go ahead and glue these track links together, you will sometimes remove paint. So there we go. This is as good as it's going to get. Everything is airbrushed and shaded. The tracks are on, the road wheels are on, everything is glued and ready to go. Next episode, we're going to start the very tedious and sometimes painful process of weathering. Getting this tank looking dirty, dusty, like it's been out in the battle. Not too long because it's 1939 model, so it wouldn't have seen that much action before probably it was destroyed. We're going to have to get these tracks weathered up too because the tanks are notoriously dirty as it is. So it's going to have quite a bit of work to do in terms of weathering. But again, like I said, that'll be next episode. Off camera, I'm going to go ahead and seal the model. I'm going to overspray it with a coat of probably some sort of a sealant. You have to make sure that whatever sealant you use, it's not going to be affected by the weathering coat. And the weathering is going to be oil-based paints. So somehow I'm going to have to use an acrylic-based sealer. And hopefully we're not going to ruin the model kit. So thanks for watching so far. Tune in next time where we're going to discuss how we're going to weather the model kit, the different processes that we can do to go ahead and weather the tank. It's going to be a lot of stuff next time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.